Hey fellas, it's me, Austin. Just wanted to add a little disclaimer before this episode. We initially had video for this episode planned, but it seems that our camera decided that it wanted to be in picture mode rather than video mode. So if you hear us referencing the camera or if you hear us referencing any video, just know that it was supposed to have it, just didn't end up working too well. So we'll try and get video for next week. This was a really good episode. We kind of got off track, but I mean, that's to be expected from us. But this will be split into two parts because it's a little bit long. First episode will be our predictions for the NFL season, and then the second half of the episode is going to be me ripping into John Gruden for a little bit, and just talking a little bit of shit to Nate. So if you're into that, enjoy the episodes or parts of the episode, and we will be back next week with our first official video for the Floor Chapstick Podcast. Thanks, and have a great week. It's 8 a.m. I'm tired as shit. I'm with my buddy Nate. It's football season, and if you eat hot dogs cold, you're a fucking troglodyte. Welcome back to the Floor Chapstick Podcast.
Yo, that was... I'll give you that one. That was very
solid,
good.
That was solid, right?
Yeah,
Last week, go with a nice little, like, serious intro, just kind of laid back, like, welcome back. And this time, bringing the fucking heat. All right,
yeah,
so...
it's 8 in the fucking morning. We're going to need to bring that heat if I'm going to be awake.
Yeah. So, like I said, welcome back to the Floor Chapstick Podcast. And what you might notice now is that we are on video.
What's up, guys?
Yeah. This is... as long as this goes up and we don't have any issues, this is going to be the first video episode of the podcast. We will still have it go up on SoundCloud. We will still be working on getting the audio onto a bunch of other platforms, but we do have video now, so you can see how shitty we look on a weekly basis.
Yeah. This is 8 a.m. on a Sunday morning.
Yeah, which is also, 2 to 3 hours earlier than we normally record it. I don't want your foot there.
I just noticed that my pants look like I'm wearing garbage bags.
Well, you're not wrong.
It's okay.
So, now that we are in video form, you can see all the hand movements. That's why our body... Facial expressions, when Nate says something stupid and, I just can't help but to put my face in my hand and just hate my life a little bit more than I normally do. Like when he goes and has a coughing fit.
Hey.
All right. So on to this week's topic. Words are hard. Football season is back. This is the best time of the year, I personally think.
Yeah.
Especially since we're out of school. We don't have to worry about school being an issue. At least with harshing our mellow and bringing us down. So
yeah, life does that enough.
We already have to deal with this bullshit on a daily basis. It's already bad enough that we have to, deal with school. So I think we should just go right into it. I have a competition that I would like to have set up and ready to go for predictions. You guys can play with us as well if you want to do it in the comment section, if you want to do it over, like if you want to send it in to us, if you're one of those people who doesn't use YouTube. We are going to have a little competition. You can keep track of your own score where we predict each game's score, and at the end of the year, we tally up the points and see, who wins.
Right.
But what I want to do, which I think would be really fun, is we do a wager. So at the end of the year, the winner has to pick out a jersey for the loser to buy or something like that.
No, this got to be the winner's got to pick some embarrassing shit for the loser to do.
I feel like that's just so
it
has to be football related.
It's got to be a fantasy football, when I played in a fantasy football league one time, when somebody would lose, you'd have to stand in the corner in a hot dog costume that said I lost my fantasy football league.
See, that'd be fun. Oh, what we could do, because it's football related and I want to do something football related to the loser, we have to go to a game. The winner, the winner and loser both of us go to a game, but the loser has to wear a hot dog costume or something the entire game, just be out in public
So
and wear something
we'd have
ridiculous.
to go to the game the next season then.
Oh yeah, no, it would be next season. We would have to set that up, and plus, it would give us time to actually save for that.
Yeah.
Because shit's expensive.
Yeah, all right, let's do that. I'm down.
So, loser has to. Well, of course, we'll buy our own tickets. We're not going to be that terrible where we have to buy the loser has to buy the winner's ticket. I feel like that's a bit much.
No, but loser has to pay for parking.
Loser has to pay for parking, which at Soldier Field is like $50.
Or if we go, or Lambeau, it's like 75. But I don't give a shit about Lambeau.
No, fuck that.
And we can't go to the Coliseum because, well, that's like a 20-hour fucking drive.
Well, also because that's in Oakland, and they're not going to be in Oakland next year, right?
No, but they'll be closer in Vegas.
Yeah. See, then we can go to Vegas. Shit, we'll wait until next season. Obviously, I'll be 21, and then we can go to Vegas.
Oh
Hell
my
yeah.
God! Hell yeah! Bears, Raiders in Vegas.
That would be dope as shit.
The Floor Chapstick Podcast takes Vegas.
Could you imagine? That'd be terrible.
We'd be the only people to get. We'd be the only people in history to get banned from a fucking state.
Yeah, that'd be
fun. We would
fun.
not be allowed back in
That
the
would be
state
fun.
of Nevada.
Hell yeah.
They'd be like, "You, sir, are no longer allowed here in this
can you
precious
guys just
state."
not show up anymore? I'd really appreciate that.
I don't know what there is in Nevada besides Area 51.
I was gonna say Area 51
and Vegas.
I mean,
Besides, like, there's crack, cocaine, heroin, Vegas, and Area 51.
and hookers, lots of hookers.
Yeah, that falls in there with crack and cocaine in Vegas.
Fair enough. Yeah, I guess you can throw booze in there too. What do you guys think is in Nevada? If we have any listeners or watchers from Nevada, tell us what the fuck is going on in your state, huh?
Because seriously, I only think it's there just for tourist attractions. Like,
At this point,
you go there just to hang out.
Yeah, I don't.
Like, hey man, what are you doing this weekend? Nothing. Yeah, you want to go to Nevada?
Yeah, you want to
sure.
go to Vegas?
What do you want to do? Oh, let's just go to Vegas and then hang out for a little bit. Where at? Somewhere in the fucking desert.
Yeah, just literally in the middle of a desert. It's like this one patch of light and then nothing for miles.
For real.
So yeah, that'd be fun. But to go off of the rules for this little competition we have, if you correctly choose the winner, you get 3 points just for that game. Then if you get one, each score that you get correct is worth 5 points. But if you do get both teams correct, so you get both of them, both scores exact, you get a bonus 15 on top of those 10 points for getting the individual scores. And if you have a perfect week, well then shit, you may as well just call yourself the winner of the season, because that is 50 points plus all of the extra like the winner and the score guesses points. So there's a lot if you get a perfect week, just because who the fuck is gonna guess a perfect week?
Yeah, you get 50 points added on to your
onto what the week score would normally be. So that's already 3 points plus 25 points plus the 50 points. Like you're getting what would that be? 11 to 12 games ish per week of getting 15 points just for the scores, on top of those 10, on top of those 3. So you have a lot of points if you get a perfect week, and it's going to be hard as shit to be able to get that, actually be plausible. But the issue is we're not going to be able to include Thursday night games unless we were to predict next week's games this week. If you want to do that, we can do that too. Nate.
Sorry, I'm reading something about Cleveland and Tennessee.
But what I was trying to say, if you would listen...
Yeah, no, I don't want to include Thursday games.
You don't want to include Thursday?
No.
Because I was going to say, we can just predict next week's this week, and we can still manage to count in Thursday night games.
Yeah, all right, then let's do that then.
Okay, so...
My prediction for last week's football game is 10-3.
I already said we're not counting this Thursday, you cuck. I already am willing. I'm like, that's not even a question. I was gonna say the Bears, even if we did do this last week. I'm not gonna change that because obviously I can't fucking go back on that.
What the fuck?
What?
Nothing. I'm just reading the spread for the Tennessee and Cleveland game.
I'm guessing it's in favor of Cleveland.
No, it's in favor of Tennessee by 5.5.
Fuck that. So let's get into the predictions. First game is the Rams versus Carolina. Who you got?
Is it?
Yes. Because there's a bunch of 1 p.m. games. I'm just saying the first one on my list is Carolina.
Carolina. I got L.A. in this one, 28-14.
I have a very similar score. Mine is actually going to be 35-28, though.
See, my first thought was originally 35-14, but then I was gonna. I know LA's got the potential to put up 35 points no matter what.
Oh, absolutely. And the thing is that Carolina is not a shit team. They had a really bad run at the end of last year, but they're not a terrible team. So I do think that as long as Cam is healthy, which as far as I know he is, he should be able to help bring the team up. And they still got Christian McCaffrey and a really rock solid defense.
It's not a big spread either. Carolina's actually favorited.
Yeah,
by
but
a point and a half.
I think people are afraid of LA, like how they're gonna do this year because of the way they choked, like both in the NFC Championship and the Super Bowl. They were just not very good.
I don't know. I think the NFC Championship, the officiating that game was a little.
Oh sure, but they also just didn't play all that great. When you watch the tape, they were just eh.
Yeah.
The thing is that when it's really, do you choose Jared Goff and Todd Gurley or Cam Newton and Christian McCaffrey? Because both of them have rock solid defenses. I personally think the Rams have a better defense, which is what's swaying my decision to be only one score in favor of LA. But I mean, as long as Jared Goff plays like he did last year, I see no issue with them being able to put up those points.
Yeah, I definitely think Jared Goff is coming into his own as one of the better quarterbacks in the league.
He's a wicked pocket passer, but he can still evade that pressure if he really needs to.
The Rams defense they bolstered itself this offseason. Yeah, they added two older players in Weddle and Clay Matthews, but both of them
are still really good.
They're fucking playmakers.
Yeah,
that's what the Rams are looking for.
If you look at Clay Matthews, like this is something that really bugged me about people saying, "Oh, he's old and shit." Last year, he had, I think, 4 or 5 sacks, but he had 3 of them taken away from him
because of
roughing the passer calls.
Yeah.
All of them bullshit. So, honestly, I don't see Clay Matthews as a negative addition, and I'm really glad that he got a job with the Rams.
He's not even that old.
No, he's 32?
33.
That wasn't a bad guess. Yeah, 33. He's just coming out of his prime. Like, this is the end of his prime. I really think that this was a good signing for the Rams.
I think he's got like 2 to 3 years left in the league.
Oh, he's got 5 years left in the league, but it's only 2 really productive years, I think.
Scary in a Rams jersey.
I absolutely love the Rams uniforms, like those blue and yellow.
Oh, the blue and yellow, yeah, that's my favorite uniforms in the NFL.
Whenever I see those, it's like I think immediately back to like the Eric Dickerson days and like those
uniforms are the only reason why I'd be a Rams fan.
Yeah, exactly. I actually really like the Rams. I liked them since they were in St. Louis, like when I was younger. All right, so we got that. Log that down, me in editing. Ding! Next game is Washington versus the Eagles. I think we can both confidently say I got the Eagles.
I'm going to go Washington on this one.
Oh, I got a little bit of an upset, huh?
Yeah, I'm going to go Washington. I think it's going to be a low-scoring game. I think it's going to be 21-14 Washington.
I was going to say 24-10 Eagles. So I'm not going for a barn burner, but I think it's going to be a reasonable score. I just don't trust who do they even have at quarterback in Washington? I don't even know. Is that Case Keenum now?
Yeah, Case Keenum I think is starting.
Yeah, I don't trust him. I mean, look what he did in Denver.
Yeah. Well, the spread is definitely interesting. Philly has got a 77% chance to win this game. They're also, the spread is +10 for Washington, -10 for Philly.
Okay. Yeah, I mean,
the over/under is 44.5.
Yeah, I don't pay attention to odds like that. Every time I do, I end up psyching myself out. Like,
really?
Yeah, I just go off of my gut. Like I do really like to look at analytics, and I try to trust my gut when I look at those stats. And I mean, when I see the matchup just purely in defense alone, I don't think Washington can stop Philly.
I'm definitely excited to see Deshaun Jackson play for the Eagles again.
And immediately against his old team, too.
Yep.
Or, well,
one of his
secondary old team, because he's on his old team now. So, I don't know. I think that's going to be really cool.
Technically, it's his third old team. Oh, no. It's his secondary old team. But he played in Tampa as well.
Oh, shit. I forgot about that. Oh, yeah. Well, then. Interesting. All right. So, next game, Bills at Jets.
I'm going to say Buffalo takes this one.
I am going to say Buffalo as well. And this one, for some reason, I had a really weird score in my head. I remember when I was writing down my scores. Of course, now that I lost it, I can't remember all of them. But Buffalo, for some reason, I have a gut feeling the score is going to be Buffalo 18-13. I don't know why 18, but I had a strong feeling, and I'm going to go with it. I don't care how weird it is. 18-13.
I have Buffalo winning 12-0.
12, so 4 field goals?
4 field goals.
Oh, that's an interesting theory.
Yep.
Thing is, I don't know about Josh Allen yet. Same with Sam Darnold.
That's
I don't
why
know
I'm
about
going
them.
12 zip. I'm gonna say I'm putting it all in the hands of special teams.
That's fair. I can see where you're coming from, but I don't know. maybe that's why I'm thinking 18 is just gonna be 6 field goals on the day for Buffalo.
Robbie Anderson is a game time decision.
Roby.
Oh, Roby. Roby Anderson. Jermaine Johnson is a game time decision.
Okay.
Andre Roberts is out for the Bills, so they're already down. And tight end Tyler Kroft is doubtful. So that's two potential pass catchers for Josh Allen that he's not going to have.
Yeah.
And with a team that doesn't have very many, doesn't have a lot of good receivers, that's
yeah, you're in a shit place.
Yeah, you're in a shit place. And who do the Jets have on offense? Now that Roby Anderson's probably not going to play.
Yeah.
You got Le'Veon. Who else on offense?
I mean,
nobody.
Yeah. As far as I remember, no. So yeah, seems like we're pretty much in agreement that the Jets aren't going to be very high powered. So this one I was super torn on. And I ended up making a decision, but it was damn close.
Hold on.
Pardon me while I take a drink real quick.
Oh, Ty Montgomery plays for the Jets now? That's cool. Oh, so the Jets receivers are Roby Anderson, Josh Bellamy, Braxton Berrios.
Stonehands Bellamy. All right.
Braxton Berrios is also going to be out today. Jamison Crowder and Quincy Enunwa.
Enunwa.
Oh, and they have Ryan Griffin.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean...
Ryan Khalil at center. I totally forgot he plays for the Jets now.
He retired last year, and he decided to come back because the Jets offered him, I think, a one-year contract worth a shit ton.
He played
Carolina forever.
Yeah. He was amazing. Do you remember Nick Mangold?
Nick Mangold, yeah.
Yeah, he was the best. I think he was the best center.
If you want to talk about centers... go back to Philly, because if you watch the tape, Jason Kelce is probably one of the best centers I have ever seen.
Jason Kelce's not a center; he's a guard.
No, he's not. He's a center.
No,
Would you like to bet?
I am 90% sure that Jason Kelce is a guard.
Would you like to bet? Because I will bet you. I will bet you as much as you want.
When did he move to center?
He's been a center for as long as I know. Since he might have been drafted as a guard, but he's been a center for as long as I can remember.
What the fuck? Jason Kelce is a center.
Yeah, no shit, Sherlock. I thought
he was a guard.
I have been watching film on the Dallas Eagles and Bears offensive lines for the past 3 months. Because I am very interested in what makes a good offensive line.
The reason he played guard was because some guard got injured, and there was another center that they were using to back up Kelce. And they moved him to guard for a few games. He's played guard before. I know that for a fact.
I'm pretty sure he played guard in college, but as far as I remember, he has only been a center as long as I've looked at his film and as long as I have known him in the league.
Damn, the Eagles got a good fucking receiving core.
They have a great everything. They have a great...
Dallas Goddard, Zach Ertz, Alex Ellis.
They have a solid everything everywhere. The only thing that I'm concerned with is linebackers, because their linebackers are a little bit and their secondary doesn't wow me when I watch them.
All right, well, Nigel Bradham is good.
He's all right.
Zach Brown is good.
He's all right.
Kamu Gregor-Hill is actually...
I think, isn't he young?
Yeah, he's 25. He's coming.
Yeah.
He's out, but he's got a good fucking... Oh, dude, LJ Fort.
And?
He's one of the older linebackers in the league at 29, but this dude is fucking insane.
See,
Like,
the thing is sure, is he insane in terms of athletic ability? Yeah, but I just when I watch anything past, like when I watch the secondary, I'm like, oh yeah, I can see what's going on there. I can see like the safeties are really good and the corners are pretty consistent in terms of their plays. But other than that, like when I watch the linebacker core, I am not impressed. Like I just see a bunch of guys who are serviceable and can get the job done for the most part.
last year he had 48 tackles, 1 sack,
How many games?
15.
Yeah, that's not that great.
The previous year he had 15 games, 11 tackles.
Yeah, so that's
And
what
then
I'm saying.
14
He's
and
not,
4. His rookie year he was 60. He had 16 and 20.
Yeah, so he's not all that impressive. He may be an athletically gifted kind of guy, but when you watch him play, he doesn't make all that many plays, and he's
I don't
just
really
kinda,
like Carson Wentz either.
I am not sold on him until he actually does something. He had
Wait,
one
we're
good
talking
year.
about the Bills. We were back on the Bills and Jets game.
Yeah, I was just talking about the reason we got back to the Eagles was because of Jason Kelsey.
Oh yeah.
We were past the Bills actually. Fucking on to our predictions again. Sorry guys, we got sidetracked. What a surprise.
Get fucking used to it if you're watching this. Get used to it.
Man, we need to get some better lighting. I'm looking at the camera. I'm looking at the little viewfinder, and it's ugly. Don't worry, guys. We're gonna try and make this better for you. So next
You
game.
just turn the light off and open that.
No, that would be even worse. 1 p.m. Eastern time on Fox. Falcons at Vikings. This one was really hard for me because I personally think that the Falcons are a better team, just all around. But they're so inconsistent year by year. I don't know if they're going to be good or not. I can't tell. Now, do I believe that the Vikings are bad? No, not at all. I think that overall the Vikings are one of the best overall teams in the league. I think Kirk Cousins gets the shit end of the stick for no reason, and
I don't. It's not good.
He's not
like,
bad.
It's that same. But the argument with Kirk Cousins, is he good or bad, is the same argument for Joe Flacco. Is he elite or not? It's that same fucking argument.
No,
it is.
Joe Flacco was never elite. Kirk Cousins is still good.
There's tons of other people in the league who would completely disagree with you on that. I disagree. I don't think Joe Flacco's elite. I don't think Kirk Cousins is that good.
That's what I said. Joe Flacco's not elite. What?
Well, okay, but you get my point. Like, there's other people who would say he is elite. I know plenty of people. I know about 5 off the top of my head who would say he's elite.
Anyone who thinks that is just wrong.
Well,
that's like saying Eli Manning is still elite. And I'm an Eli fan. I love
he's
Eli.
Not elite anymore, but he's the only person to ever beat Tom Brady in the Super Bowl twice.
Well, sure.
He's the only person to ever beat Tom Brady in the Super Bowl.
No.
Oh yeah, Nick Foles.
There you go.
Nick Foles. Big Dick Nick.
You made that mistake like
I do that shit all the time.
In podcast episode 2, I'm pretty sure.
That's how forgettable Nick Foles is. But Nick, if you're not watching this, go fuck yourself.
If you are watching this, come on the podcast. I'm a fan. I was a fan of you. But either way, Kirk Cousins is not a bad quarterback.
No, he is.
He is not.
He is.
He is not.
He is.
Right. When you have receivers who can't make plays, even though you have 2 of the biggest receiver names in the league, and you have running backs who can't consistently run, and an offensive line that is the shittiest pass blocking offensive line in the league, bar none, minus say Oakland last year or the Cardinals last year. I mean, you have a recipe for disaster. If you look at last year, most of their wins, minus I'd say 2 or 3, were not his fault by any means. Especially the ones I'm gonna go back to one of the YouTubers I watch. I'm sure if anyone watches enough football analyst stuff, you know who this guy is. I don't want to name drop, but he did a breakdown of Kirk Cousins last year where they were 1-6 against teams above 500. Only one game did Kirk Cousins play poorly. Every other game, he was failed by either his receivers dropping passes, him getting sacked and having fumbles caused, or just overall choking on the defense. It was not his fault. 5 out of the 6 losses. Excuse Nate because he's coughing. I'm sure you can see. But Kirk Cousins is by no means a bad quarterback. Is he great? Is he elite? No. But And they did overpay him, so don't think I'm trying to defend his paycheck because holy shit, that was an overpayment. But
You know, Phil Sims' son still plays.
I did not know that.
Matt Sims.
I did not know that. I'm sure is he a quarterback?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He went to Tennessee. Look at how much he looks like fucking Phil.
Oh yeah.
Have you seen his brother Chris?
No.
They look.
Oh wait, no, yeah, Chris Sims. Yeah.
They
Yeah.
all look alike, dude.
I'll throw a little up on there for you.
He's been
of, audio and video listeners, viewers, whatever the hell.
He's been in the league since 2014, and his only stats are for 39 yards.
So he's Chase Daniels.
He's 3 for 8 in his
so,
career.
So he was Chase Daniels before last year. I mean, that's
Nah. Chase Daniels is better than this guy.
Chase Daniels played one. What was it?
One game.
No, I don't even think it was one game, like full game before last year.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
But he's really good.
No, he's not. Are you
He's one of the
serious?
better- he's
he
one of
is
the better
fucking
backups.
trash. He
I
is
don't know.
trash as shit.
You know who the best backup quarterback in the league is? I'll get into it once we get to that team prediction. But I'm not going to say right now once we get into that team prediction. Falcons, Vikings. Falcons 40, Vikings 20.
Vikings 24, Falcons 21. I'm putting the game on the putting the game the last drive of the game is going to be Kirk Cousins working his way down the field like he always does and throwing a last minute touchdown. I am going to put my trust in him this week. 24-21 Vikings.
You know what?
I'm going to get a lot of hate for that.
I'm going to switch that up. I'm going to go 20-21 Falcons, and Vikings lose on a missed last-second field goal. Like, not field goal, but like extra point to tie the game.
That
yeah.
would be fucking
They lose
terrible.
On that. That's
oh
how
my
that
God.
game's going to go.
That would be very Vikingsy for them to lose that way.
Spread is Falcons plus 3.5.
All right,
Minnesota
so
minus.
You got that. So we are saying that no matter what, this game is going down to the wire today.
Yeah.
Next, Baltimore at Miami.
Baltimore, easily.
Baltimore. The only reason I say that is because I just don't trust Miami, and their head coach was a one-year coordinator for New England. And when does
Who is it? Who is it? Their head
Brian
coach?
Flowers?
Brian Flowers. Okay. Here's the thing about he was the OC, right?
I thought he was the defensive coordinator. I could be wrong.
Oh yeah, no, you're right. He was because Matt Patricia was a defensive coordinator before he
Offensive.
left, and then
Yeah.
now he's in Detroit.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
Josh Daniels.
Is the offensive coordinator.
McDaniels?
McDaniels.
Yeah, Josh McDaniels is the OC for.
Yeah,
New
he's the
England.
one who was going to go take the Colts job. And
Yeah,
then
yeah. He had the
backed out.
job, and then he was like, nah, fuck it.
Nah, fuck that. I'm going to go try to take over for Billy Boy when he retires.
Which he's going to,
Eventually.
and that team's still gonna be fucking powerhouse.
Oh, absolutely. Just look at the receiving
Yeah.
core. We'll get to that when we get there.
So, what was I saying?
Baltimore versus
Brian
Miami.
Flowers. Brian Flowers I think is gonna surprise a lot of people this year.
I don't. He was a one-year coordinator, and I don't think when was the last time a one-year coordinator really did anything?
Dude, if we know anything about the NFL now, especially with last year, this season is going to be anything like last season, this season is going to be full of surprises.
Well, sure. I mean, every
So
year is.
I'm putting all my eggs in the basket, dude. I'm counting all my chickens before they hatch with this season. I'm saying Raiders make the playoffs on a wild card. Brian Flowers surprises everyone, and the Miami actually has a better record than 8-8.
I'm gonna say 7-9 for Miami this year.
I'm gonna go 9-7, and they beat out New England for they beat out everyone else in the AFC East for that wild card spot.
Did you just say they're gonna beat out New England?
No, I didn't mean New England. I meant like New York. That's what I meant to say.
Okay, because I was gonna say.
Well, did you hear me after the words? I
Well,
said
no,
wild
I heard that,
card
but
spot.
I heard that, but I was very concerned with all I heard was they were gonna beat out New England, and then my mind just went like,
Well, they play them twice a year. And
yeah,
they beat him,
but
didn't they beat him twice last year, both times?
I think they only beat them once last year, and that was on the Miami Miracle.
The Miami Miracle.
Because they put Gronk out at safety. You got slow,
That was
lumbering ass
so
Gronk.
funny.
I was fucking dumb.
Did you see Willie McGinnis' Instagram video?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think so.
Yeah, of him playing, someone playing catch with Martellus and Gronk.
Yeah.
And it says major comebacks happening, and everyone's like, "Oh, Gronk's coming back! Gronk's coming back!" And I commented on it. I was like, "Watch you all be wrong, and it's Martellus."
Yeah. Oh my God, that'd be great.
That would be so great.
Martellus is more likely right now than Gronk is.
Dude, Gronk is fucked. Did you see that video when he was apologizing?
Yeah.
You could tell he's
a broken man when it comes to football.
Slurring his words and
Yeah,
shit.
he probably could have been drunk or something because he's still a party boy, but still, he's a 30-year-old frat guy. So, either way, we'll talk about that. We'll talk about shit like that another time. Prediction time. So next is Kansas City at Jacksonville. I'm not gonna say that Jacksonville is gonna win, but they were the only team to hold Pat Mahomes without a touchdown last year. So I think it's gonna be close. I'm going to say that Kansas City is going to win, but it is going to be 28-24. I'm going to say it's going to be way closer than it should be. I'm going to say Jacksonville gives them a run for their money just because
Hold
their
on,
defense.
we never did the score for Baltimore, Miami.
Oh, shit. Baltimore, Miami.
35-14 Baltimore.
21-14 Baltimore.
All right. What are we doing now? What are we going
Kansas
to?
City at Jacksonville.
28-14 Jacksonville.
I said 28-24 Kansas City.
Yeah, I'm going to take Jacksonville in this one, man.
I was tempted. I honestly was. I kind of wanted to throw that upset in there, but the problem is that
I love their defense, dude.
I love their defense too, and like I said, they were able to hold Mahomes to 0 touchdowns last year. Only
Miles
team to
Jack.
do it. But Miles Jack, I love Miles Jack.
I think he's fucking phenomenal.
I think he's underrated.
He played running back in he started both ways in college at UCLA. He was a starting running back and a starting linebacker.
In college, it doesn't really sure it's cool, but it doesn't impress me as much.
Right, but he was the starting middle linebacker and the starting. So he was being scouted in the draft as a running back and as a linebacker. And then when he was drafted, they didn't know where they were going to put him.
I'm pretty sure Devin White was the same thing his freshman year.
Yeah, but then he moved to linebacker.
Pardon my drink.
Greg Robinson suffered Cam Robinson.
Oh.
suffered a non-contact right knee injury.
I don't care what it is.
Practice.
Non-contact is not okay. Non-contact injuries in the knee, you're fucked.
It says Jaguars are down to their third-string left tackle for Sunday's game against Kansas City after Cam Robinson suffered a non-contact right knee injury during Thursday's practice, and backup Cedric Ogilvy.
Yeah, Ogilvy
has been ruled out with a hamstring.
Oh, okay. I thought they were putting Ogilvy in. I'm like, I thought he was
Ogilvy's
a starter.
No, he's second string.
Is he?
Cam
Okay.
Robinson's first string. It's sad to see Ogilvy go down to a second string, man, and be a backup.
Yeah.
He's great.
Okay.
The team plans on starting with second-year player Will Richardson.
Well, good for Will. All right, so next game. I feel like this one is...
He's only played one snap at left tackle since high school. A kneel-down play
fuck him.
He played one snap at left tackle since high school, a kneel-down play at North Carolina State. That's it.
Kneel-down play. All right. Fuck that. We made our predictions. Fuck it.
All right.
Tennessee at Browns.
Okay. See, this is the game this is a game I was looking at earlier.
Yeah, you were looking at it for like 5 minutes.
I definitely think that both of these teams are going, if their quarterbacks can get it together and they can continue building at the level they're building, they're going to be very good teams in the next 5 to 10 years.
The Browns are a good team now.
No.
Yes.
All right. They have good talent on their team. It is yet to be seen how well they can play together.
Given that the entire offense looked really good under Baker and Kitchens last year, and now they just added Antonio Brown, Odell, who's already friends with Juice.
But Odell's also one of those diva receivers, and Baker's got himself a bit of an ego as well.
But
now,
he's already proven he can get along with Baker. Has already proven he can get along with Jarvis Landry, and because Jarvis and Odell are so close, and there's already been no flare-ups with them at all that we know of, I see no issue with their chemistry so far. Now, is it going to be perfect, bang on chemistry right away? No, of course not. That never works.
I think Baker is going to be one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL pretty soon.
Absolutely. I think he's already right there. Honestly, like watching him play, he has a lot of issues that he needs to fix. But
He
once
reminds me a lot of Brett Favre.
Oh, absolutely. That gunslinger who can just fucking whip it all over the field.
Yeah.
But just like Brett Favre, he has issues with
interceptions.
With reading, with his reads, and his timing routes. Watching his timing routes, I'm very like. Of course, that comes with time and that comes with receivers. I mean, look at the different. He's already better than a lot of quarterbacks. Look at the difference between him and Trubisky. Trubisky looked terrible on Thursday with his timing reads, but Baker, you don't have that issue as often. Of course, Trubisky didn't play the preseason and whatever, blah, 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 bullshit, fuck you. Baker just inherently has a knack for those timing routes. He instantly has that connection with his receivers, it feels like. Now, I could be wrong. I could be completely ass backwards, and he's never going to be able to throw it to Odell because they never get the timing on. Who knows? But with the amount of talent and the amount of chemistry that they already have just on offense alone, you have a recipe for a really good offense, and their defense isn't anything to sneeze at either. So, I mean, we'll see where it goes. I personally have I have the Browns winning 24-10.
All right. So I have the same score, actually.
Just switch the other way.
Yeah.
I don't trust Marcus Mariota. I think he's one of the biggest busts in recent history, honestly. Him and Jameis Winston, it's trash.
I know. We talked about that a couple weeks ago.
I think it was last week.
I think Mariota and Winston are going to come into their own soon enough.
Jameis Winston should have come into his own 3 years ago. Marcus Mariota has come into his own, and it's shown that he's an okay quarterback at best. Now, can he prove me wrong? Yeah, I absolutely hope he does. I never hope for a
I think last year, under his first year with Vrabel, he looked fucking good, dude.
I wasn't wowed. I was. When I watch Mariota, I see a quarterback who isn't confident.
I saw shades of his early years at Oregon, and I've been watching Mariota since his first years at Oregon because I mean, you can't argue this. Mariota has to be put in there with one of the greatest college quarterbacks of all time.
Well, sure, but college quarterback means jack shit in the NFL. Tim Tebow was one of the greatest college quarterbacks ever, too. What's your point?
I think college football is more interesting than the NFL.
Oh, it's definitely. I think it's a lot more fun. I just recently started getting into college football.
You also play for like 3 times the amount of people.
Well, sure. College football is a lot easier to attach yourself to than it is NFL. Yeah. Either way, well, we keep getting sidetracked on little tangents about the game,
right?
Because we have one more thing that I want to talk about.
What's actually funny is that we started the episode at 8:30.
Did we?
Yeah. So we're only like 30.
We're 37.
So 37 in. Yeah. We started at 10 exactly. That was nice.
We're on a good pace to.
Why do we do this every week? We do this every week.
I'm just saying, you're the one who asks about the time every time. Like this is why I try and keep the time off of when we start recording, because every time that I'm saying like, oh, we started this episode at 10 minutes, I look over at the recording and see we're at a certain time now. I'm like, oh, that means we're this far in.
Yeah. All right, next game.
Yeah, next game.
Colts Chargers.
I got Chargers.
You guys, so do I.
Even if Melvin Gordon isn't playing, I just don't. I like Jacoby Brissett. I do.
So do I.
I don't think he's a NFL starting caliber quarterback.
I do.
I mean, he's not a starting quarterback for a good team.
Okay, so I'm reading the injury report here, and Jatavius Brown, Roderick Teamer Jr., and Denzel Perryman Jatavius Brown is doubtful, and Teamer Jr. is doubtful. Perryman's a game-time decision.
Okay.
But on the other side, Jabal Sheard is out, and the Colts are without Jonathan Williams at running back as well.
I'm not too concerned because
Jordan
that's not even their starter.
Jordan Wilkins is questionable as well.
I never trust questionables because coaches will keep them questionable. Even if it's a flu that happened last week, they're going to have them as questionable until game day. It always is.
I don't think Denzel Perryman's gonna play, and
I
if
don't
he
think so
does,
either.
if he doesn't, I'm gonna have the Colts winning this one. Joey Burkett's gonna expose that over the middle there, and he's gonna fucking fill that hole with passes all day.
The problem is the way that the Chargers are able to adapt when one player is out. Like that, they're that. I remember last year they had a couple different games where they were able to play seven different DBs on the field at the same time, 8 different DBs at the same time on the field, to make up for linebackers, or vice versa. They would play a couple more linebackers than DBs to make up for it, and they were able to scheme in a way that they were able to make up for it. So I'm not too concerned with one injury.
I also think you also have to keep in mind that Brissett's been in the Colts scheme for what, a season?
Season and a half.
Season? No, he hasn't been there for a full season.
Has it? No, I thought he was.
Nope.
Okay, either way, because I know he came from the Patriots, correct?
Correct.
Yeah.
So that's my point on that is, even though he's been in the Colts, system for a little bit now, he still sat behind Tom Brady for a little bit, and you're
So did Jimmy Garoppolo. And last season, he was okay.
He tore his ACL. In the preseason, he looked like shit.
Well, during the first 4 games that he played, or 3.5 games that he played in the regular season, he showed flashes of being good.
The Colts, do you know how the Patriots cut Brian Hoyer and they have no backup now for Tom Brady?
Yeah.
Yeah, the Colts picked him up.
Oh yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
No,
very
Jacoby
fitting.
Brissett only played half the season, and he was only on the team for half the season in Indianapolis last year. He threw for 2 yards.
2 yards. I don't think Jacoby Brissett's a bad quarterback. I just don't think he's
got
ready.
100 QBR.
Well, good for him. But you know who else has a high QBR?
Me.
Yeah, because you have nothing to go off of.
Yeah.
So
Marlon Mack's their starter, right?
Yeah, Marlon Mack is a fuck. I've been saying that he's going to be good since like 2016, I want to say. Because I want to say he's been in the league since 2015. I could be wrong. But I know that ever since I saw him play, I'm like, he has potential. Because he was one of the first college players I followed.
You know who I really like is Paris Campbell.
I don't know. I don't know.
He's a
I
rookie.
have no reference. Yeah, when it comes to rookies, I have no reference because last year I was like I said, I just started watching college football a couple years ago, and I was very
Marlon Mack has been in the
last
league
year.
since
I want to say 15 or 16.
Oh shit, we had a silence there.
Yeah. Well, I was gonna try and talk, but I'm like, this is just gonna be
Okay, stats 2017.
2017. Okay, so because I know I saw him his last year in college, but I thought I'd been following him since 16.
Shit. So his first year in the league, 2017,
Mm-hmm.
he had played 14 games.
Yep.
He had 93 rushing attempts, ran for 358 yards, 3 touchdowns.
Mm-hmm.
Last year, had 195, so he had 100 more touches.
Yep.
Ran for 600 more yards
Mm-hmm.
and 6 more touchdowns.
Yeah, he was a beast last year. I've been a fan of him. I thought it was since 2016 is when he came in the league. I guess I was wrong. I've been a fan of him since I first started watching him.
He also has 2 career tackles.
Oh yeah, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
But I genuinely love Marlon Mack. I think he is a great running back, and I think he's gonna be. You know who he reminds me a lot of.
He was a better. He had more. He's a good pass catcher too.
Mm-hmm.
2017 had 21 receptions, 225, and last year 17 for 103.
You know who he really reminds me of for some reason? I don't think it's necessarily like he's not even the same kind of running back. He just for some reason has this aura about him when I watch him. Reminds me of Frank Gore.
I was just gonna say that.
Yeah, he reminds me a lot of Frank Gore.
Does. But I don't know if that's because I'm so used to seeing Frank play for
Indianapolis
now. But then again, dude, Frank Gore is definitely one of the best running backs ever.
Absolutely. He is top 4, gonna be top 3 after this year in rushing yards in a career.
Yeah.
He's played this is gonna be his 15th season. I mean,
he looks dude, he looks like a badass motherfucker. Yeah,
he is a fucking workhorse. And I think Buffalo was actually one of the best places he could have ended up. Like honestly, I think that was one of the best places. I want to say so because remember they got rid of Shady. So I mean, it's their.
Did they get rid of Boobie Dixon?
I don't know who that is, but I love his name. Okay, so
Bengals Seahawks.
Seahawks.
I want to save that. I want to save the big, and that NFC East matchup, that last NFC East matchup for last, and that revenge game tonight's night game for last.
Oh,
It's
yeah,
gonna be
yeah.
Damn,
So-
I'm gonna miss that because I'm gonna be at work.
So we're gonna skip those two. Okay.
Yeah, we'll do those two. Last.
So,
all right,
Bengals and Seahawks.
Yeah, no doubt.
I mean, we don't even
blowout,
have to spend
42
much
zip.
time. Yeah, I'm going to go 35-10. I don't think they're going to be held scoreless because it's just so hard to blank somebody. But I'm going to go 35-10. But that game isn't really a whole lot to be excited about. Again, this game
Watch
I'm
Russell
excited
Wilson tear his ACL,
right?
and they have to have their punter or kicker play the rest of the game.
All right. So this game I'm actually kind of interested for because this is a game where both quarterbacks have something to prove.
Whoa! Wait, if the spread, if it's minus, that means you're favored, right?
Yes,
Okay.
at least as far as I remember. But forget Bengals as Seahawks. That's a boring game. I'm not going to be interested by that game. The game that I'm interested in, San Francisco versus Tampa Bay. Two
Really?
quarterbacks that really need to prove themselves right now. Jimmy Garoppolo, because he only played 4 games last season and still has to prove his massive contract, and Jameis Winston, because this is his last year to really prove himself.
I think all right, here's my thing. Here's what I foresee happening. Jimmy Garoppolo plays like shit. Winston plays like shit this year. They both play like shit.
Mhm.
They both get cut by their respective teams.
And they go to each other's teams.
No. Winston goes and backs up someone somewhere else. Garoppolo goes to Tampa. Beathard becomes the starter in San Francisco and leads that team to the playoffs. Beathard is a great quarterback.
He is a good quarterback. He needs time to stew.
I think he's good, dude. I think he's a starter for that team, especially in their rebuilding process.
Not right now. Thing is that they shouldn't be rebuilding because they have enough talent to work with it as long as Jimmy Garoppolo actually pans out and Jerick McKinnon doesn't tear his ACL before the fucking year again. That poor guy, he's getting fucked because his ACL can't last. Pardon my drink.
Oh, Jimmy Ward's out. Tampa Bay's going to take that game then. No Jimmy Ward on that left side.
I am
And
actually
Jason
going to
Verrett
agree.
might not play either.
I'm going to agree that Tampa is going to pull it out because I don't trust San Francisco. I think that I think that the defense is going to look really good, but I just don't think the offense is going to be able to get it done.
I don't think Nick Bosa is going to play because they have him listed as questionable. But
Like I said, questionable means nothing to me. Questionable means absolutely nothing to me. But I will agree in saying that I think Tampa is going to pull this one out. This is another upset that I was going to say San Francisco like when I was planning out my little bracket yesterday, but I'm going to go Tampa Bay. I'm going to say that it's going to be 17-7. I just don't think that the offense is going to get anything done, but the defense for San Francisco is still going to be good, and you can mark me on that because they have a solid defense all around.
Who, Tampa?
No, San Francisco.
Yeah,
that's what
I
I'm saying.
think
It's
so,
going to be 17-7 in favor of Tampa. That's what I'm going to say the final score is.
Is Solomon Thomas still playing for San Francisco?
I think so.
Dude, he's a tank. I
Yeah.
also like that name.
Yeah.
It's biblical.
Yeah, it's a very it's actually kind of a mean name if you hear it. Solomon.
Yeah.
I like that name. By the way, guys, sorry if you're looking at Nate's feet right now. That's that is just not okay. Knowing that I'm gonna have to edit this, I'm gonna have to worry about that because I do not want to see your feet. There you go. Look at that. It's probably been like that for the past 15 minutes or so. So either way, if you would just finish your text, Mr. Professional.
Sorry.
So next game, we're gonna skip that one, the NFC East. Then it's gonna be Lions at Cardinals. It is so hard.
It's actually hard to predict this
That's
one because
so
they're
hard.
both shitty teams.
The thing is that purely because I think Kyler Murray is gonna be able to do it. Usually I don't choose a team winning because of their rookie quarterback, but I'm going to do it just this one time for Kyler Murray. I think he's going to be able to pull it out against an okay at best Detroit defense.
I don't see the Cardinals doing any better this season than 4-12.
I see them going
With the
6-10.
first year head coach, first year quarterback, basically no receivers besides Larry
Nice.
Fitzgerald. You got Christian Kirk, who's,
But But you also don't have to have Kyler worry completely to do it all on his own because you got David Johnson. When he's healthy, he's one of the best running backs in the league. So
yeah, I definitely agree with that. Let's see who's not playing.
I don't think anybody notable. Yeah. Because
Rashad Melvin. Sean Melvin for the Lions is not playing.
Last year, Detroit had the 10th ranked defense.
Really?
Yeah, surprisingly. So that's where I kind of am gonna draw my line on who I like the score wise, because I am gonna predict 13-10 Arizona. I don't think it's gonna be a slaughter that I've seen a couple people predict. I just don't trust that Arizona can do anything outside of Kyler and Johnson. But I'm gonna go a nice little low scoring affair.
I think
he is.
I think they're having Brett Hundley start.
Okay, if that's the case, okay, so I'm going to have two predictions for this game. If it's Kyler, I'm going to say 13-10 Cardinals. But if it's not Kyler, I don't think they stand a chance. I think it's going to be 14-3 Detroit. I still don't think it's going to be high scoring no matter what. Just because after watching Detroit all of my football watching career, I have never been wowed by their offense.
I'm trying to see right now if
I don't see how it's not Kyler Murray. You spend all this draft capital, you get rid of your quarterback that you just drafted last year, first overall or whatever the hell they drafted him, or I think it was like sixth overall, whatever. You spend all this draft capital to get this quarterback, and you don't start him week one. I don't see it.
It doesn't say if he's starting or not, but I don't.
That's what I said. That's what I'm saying. If it's Kyler Murray 13-10, if it's Brett Hundley, then it's going to be 14-3.
No, I don't see any news here that says otherwise.
All right, so that's my prediction.
The roster, I don't know. The roster has Brett Hundley as the first quarterback on the roster.
That's not okay.
Lions are favored by 3.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Night game. I want to save the NFC East matchup.
I actually kind of want to save I want to save the
night game?
Sunday night. Yeah.
All right, let's get into it.
That one seems more interesting.
Giants Cowboys. I'm gonna go Cowboys by 7. It's gonna be a close game. I'm gonna say 35-42.
God, do I want to say Dallas? I do. I genuinely think Dallas should win. For some reason, I have a gut feeling the Giants are going to pull this one out of their ass. I'm going to go 24-21. I don't know why. I just have a hunch that I don't care if it's Eli. I don't care if it's Daniel Jones.
Who's
I don't
Eli
care.
2.0.
Essentially. I do not. I don't think that the Giants really have that good of a chance.
The Giants last 5, so the Giants went 4-0 in preseason.
Well, good for them. So did the 0-16 Lions, and the Cleveland went 3-1 in the preseason when they went 0-16.
Baltimore went undefeated too, and Baltimore's been going undefeated in the preseason for the last 5 years. They're the 72 Dolphins of the preseason every year.
Yeah, man, if they could play preseason every year, they'd be fucking aces. But I mean, head to head, the Giants have lost the last 3, which isn't a surprise. But I don't know what it is. I don't think that Zeke be sitting out and him being kind of being a petulant little asshole throughout the preseason. I think that's really going to take an effect on the team for the first week or two. So I am going to do another upset.
If Zeke, oh my God, my feet are up again. If Zeke is
I'm just going to put a little sensor bar over your feet.
Yeah, if Zeke is smart, he's going to take that, $90 million 6-year
he already
extension.
signed it.
Yeah, which is what he signed it. He's going to take that money, put it in his pocket and be like, I'm going to ball the fuck out now. I'm worth 90 mil, I'm going to play 90 mil.
Yeah. The thing that scares me now.
Also, the Cowboys rookie running back's not going to be able to play because Zeke's holding out, because Zeke's playing now.
Yeah.
And Daniel Jones is going to have to wait because the Giants are going to start Eli.
That's what I was thinking too. But the thing that scares me about Dallas, the thing that scared me last year and even the year before that, there are 2 things that scare me. Offensive line last year and this year has really taken a toll in terms of the injury bug, and it makes me feel terrible because they were one of my favorite offensive lines in the league. Like I said, I was watching their film, I was watching Philly's film, and I was watching the Bears film over the past 3 months when they were at their peaks, and they're just so fun to watch. But I just don't know, because Dak played well the last half of the season last year, but at the beginning he was so slow, and he didn't seem like he was going through the sophomore slump, of course. But at that same time, is he really that great of a quarterback? As of right now, I don't know. I think he's a better quarterback right now at this point in his career than, say, Josh Rosen will be, or Trubisky has been, or even
This is Trubisky's
Josh Allen will
sophomore
be.
year, though, right?
No, this is his 3rd year.
Yeah, he was the 2nd overall pick.
Yeah.
All right, first of all, I got an issue with that. You had so many other
Okay, I can tell you right now how I feel about this, because they traded up with San Francisco, who wasn't picking a quarterback.
Yeah, all right, hold on. Let's table that. We'll get into that. Let's go and finish these fucking
Yeah, we'll talk
scores.
about that later. We'll talk about that. I could talk about that an entire goddamn episode. So we'll save that for another situation. We'll save that for actually, that'd be a great end of the year topic. Mark our words. I'm going to talk about Trubisky at the end of the year, and we're going to see where he is.
I just think it was a bad draft choice.
Of course it was. I'm saying that right now. I'm saying right now, with having Patrick Mahomes, Deshaun Watson, and I think who else was in that draft class for QBs? Fuck, who cares? Those two alone, you shouldn't have traded up to go pick Trubisky.
But yeah, Pat Mahomes was the 10th overall pick. Deshaun Watson was
like 14th, I think.
14th, I think.
Yeah. You pick Trubisky at 2. That was, Pace has made a lot of great picks as the Bears GM. He has made a lot of great acquisitions in general. But
It was a 2017 draft.
was it 2017?
Uh-huh.
Are you sure?
Yeah, because Jamal Adams was drafted 6th overall by the Jets that year.
Okay.
Solomon Thomas was in that draft as well. So yeah, Pat Mahomes went 10th. Deshaun went 12th.
12th. Okay, that's what it was. So you having those two on the draft board still, and you pick Trubisky, a 13-game starter in college, I think it was. It's ridiculous. But we will shelve that for the end of the season.
No, he was a 12-game starter. He didn't play.
That's even worse.
His senior year. And then the next quarterback drafted after Deshaun was Deshaun Kaiser.
Which, at least they didn't draft him.
He's pretty good for Notre Dame, actually, I thought.
Well, yeah, but did you see him in the NFL?
Yeah. Can you believe that Alvin Kamara was a 3rd-round pick?
Yeah.
He didn't even play like one.
But either way, so just mark my words. I will talk about Trubisky at the end of the year this year, and I will give my final verdict, because I think 3 years should be enough for a quarterback to really show if he's shown improvement. And as of right now, last year was a step up. If he can't fucking figure his shit out this year, I will be livid, because he should already be where he needs to be as a quarterback, and he has not shown it.
Yeah.
Either way, back to the games. 24-21 Giants. That was my prediction. I don't know if you gave a score, did you?
I said 42-35 Dallas.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you said yours before I said mine. So now, Sunday night. This game, I think, is probably one of the more interesting games, and it only could have been better if a certain receiver could have been there. This is Pittsburgh versus New England.
He's going to be on the sidelines for that game.
Oh, I guarantee it. Even if he's not like a game, like if he's not there as a part of the team, you know he's going to buy a guest pass and go get on that sideline.
He's going to do some shit's going to go down.
Oh, yeah. And I cannot wait, because I feel like it had to have been
Do you
planned.
think Ryan Shazier's ever going to play again?
Nope. No way in hell. Have you seen him try and walk?
Yeah,
He looks like a baby giraffe.
Yeah, but he's walking, though.
Doesn't mean anything. He's never going to play again. I think even doctors have said, no, you can't play ever again.
He was such a good linebacker.
He was one of the best linebackers to come into the league since like Ray Lewis and Urlacher.
And you remember Chris Borland?
Mm-hmm.
He was in fucking tank too.
Yeah.
And then he retired early because of concussions.
Yeah. Injuries. The thing is, I feel awful for his injury.
I watched that Shazier. I was watching that game when it happened.
So was I. That was against the Bungles, wasn't it?
Yeah. And Vontae. I don't know who he made the hit against, but I was
It
just
wouldn't have been Vontaze.
no. I was thinking of the time that Vontaze Burfict laid Antonio Brown the fuck out.
But
yeah, dude, I saw him like make that hit, and I was like, he's done.
Yeah.
He can't get up from that.
No.
That's the same when Paul Richardson took that hit with the Seahawks.
Yeah.
Oh, do you remember when fucking who was it that went up for that pass and Richard Sherman like absolutely fucking destroyed him in the end zone?
I don't
He was
recall.
in the air.
Mm-hmm.
Or was it Richard Sherman or was it Eric Reed? It might have been Eric Reed.
It might have been Eric Reed because I don't remember Sherman ever laying out anybody.
But dude, the dude was in the air for the pass, and Eric Reed was on the ground and hit him, and he just sent him like, whoo.
Yeah.
It was crazy. If you know who I'm talking about,
if I can find it, I'll put it on screen while we're talking about
Yeah.
this because that is, I'm sure I'll be able to find it if I know the reference.
Yeah.
But
hold on, let me see if I can bring it up here on my phone.
Okay.
Keep talking.
So while you're doing that, I am really excited for this Steelers and Patriots rematch from I think last year they even played all the years that they played each other. They are both teams are really phenomenal at just beating the shit out of each other. Now, the thing that I'm worried about is in the Steelers' case is Ben Roethlisberger. I've said for quite a while that he is
it
not
was Doug
ready.
Baldwin.
Okay.
I think it was Doug Baldwin. Hold on, let me check the video to make sure.
Ben Roethlisberger, I've been saying for the past couple years now, he is not the same Big Ben. He plays more sloppy. He has no connection with his teammates, and he's just overall not the same quarterback. I don't know if I can trust him now that he has even less weapons than he already did. He doesn't have AB. He doesn't have Le'Veon Bell. I think he lost a couple of his linemen. I could be mistaken, but I think one or two of their linemen are gone now. He does not have the same talent that he was able to, fall back on the past few years or the past decade. And that's something that really doesn't instill a lot of hope for the Steelers team this year. And of course, the Patriots alone are just absolutely just terrifying this year. They have probably the best receiving core I think I've ever seen them have, at least in recent memory. Their defense is just as solid as it was last year. Wasn't great, but it was solid. And of course you got Tom Brady. And I don't think any team with Tom Brady can be counted out until he decides to, actually act his age behind center. Yeah.
So it was Eric Reed's hit on Doug Baldwin.
Okay,
but I'll show you this.
I'll pull it up and show it on the podcast. You guys should be seeing this right now. Oh, nice. Just fucking blast him out of bounds. That was solid. That was a solid hit.
Him on the head. Bam! Gets up. Yeah, you bitch.
Well, you see Doug Baldwin, too. He gives him a little pat on the back, too.
Yeah,
like
he's
that,
like, yeah,
a
nice
mutual
hit.
respect.
There was, I don't remember who it was, but there was that hit, and then there was another hit, and it was the NFC Championship game or something like that between those two.
Yeah.
And I don't know who it was, but it was It was when the Seahawks had Legion of Boom. Maybe it was Cam Chancellor.
Mm-hmm.
It had to be Cam Chancellor laying.
Stop looking at your phone. We'll talk about it later.
Hold on. I have to fucking find this just so I know. Cam.
I'm sorry, guys. He's.
It was Vernon Davis.
Oh,
Cam
okay,
Chancellor
yeah.
and Vernon Davis.
Vernon Davis was a fucking monster. I love Vernon Davis. He's one of my favorite tight ends to watch. He was just crazy.
Here it is. All
right. Well, we're gonna be showing another video.
Angle and slow mo.
Video time with the Floor Chapstick Podcast. Oh, okay, yeah. I've seen that one. I've seen that one quite a few times.
Fuck, I love that hit.
Yeah, so that's
Vernon
a good
Davis
time.
is like, what the fuck just happened to me?
Yeah, that's a good hit. Oh, that's a nice solid shoulder straight to his chest. That's a perfect hit right there. I love
that's
hits
the
like
hit I
that.
was talking about, where he was in the air and Cam Chancellor's on the ground and
Yeah.
just boom.
I'm going to do a quick test on the. I'm going to do a quick check on the camera. So just 1 second. I'm probably just going to cut this.
All right. So yeah, but what were we talking about? No, I think that I'm gonna go on a little tangent here.
Okay.
I think with
You do that.
I think with this game coming up, there's definitely gonna be some animosity between. You got games? All right, we're back. Oh, well, we weren't back on the. We didn't cut out on any audio, but
So recording. We're good. We're good. All right. So what were you saying? My bad.
no, I think there's gonna be definitely some animosity between the two teams here today, tonight. With,
Oh, absolutely.
With that game.
Yeah, it's gonna be a fun game to watch. Let me tell you. So what do you got the score being?
28-21 New England.
35-24 New England.
Ooh,
Yeah.
okay.
I'm gonna give benefit of the doubt just because of how solid, even without Antonio Brown, how good that receiving core is. I mean, it's kind of hard to say that the secondary of the Steelers isn't just gonna get completely fucking cooked again. Especially with Tomlin as the head coach, he just cannot figure out the Patriots 90% of the time. And as long as the Patriots don't shoot themselves in the foot, I don't see any issue with them winning again and making it a very, very hearty whooping.
A hearty whooping.
A hearty whooping.
A hearty whooping.
So now, Monday night, you got 2 games. I don't know why 2 games on a Monday night.
Let's save that game where I'm gonna go off on.
Yeah.
For the last, because.
Well, yeah, we're gonna go in order anyway. So because it's gonna be Saints versus Texans first. I don't think it's very. I mean, I think that Deshaun Watson is good. Yeah, but do I think he can end up beating the Saints? No. It's all a matter of if Drew Brees plays well, and it's Drew Brees, so it's kind of hard to count him out. But, big but. Do the Texans have enough talent on offense to just get it done?
No.
I don't think so. I find their trades recently to be really, really strange. I don't understand why. Like, you could have gotten a better return for Clowney, honestly. I don't think he was Khalil
I don't know
Mack
why
worthy,
they traded him.
because I think he was holding out because he didn't want to sign the franchise tag. And
I mean,
that's what it is. I'm not. that's the reasoning.
Yeah.
And the thing is that he was a first overall pick. You could have gotten more for him. I'm not saying he worth Khalil Mack amount of trade. No, he doesn't have that much trade value.
Do you think he would have been the first overall pick if that video of his hit on Michigan didn't go viral?
No, honestly,
I
don't
think that's
so.
what made him that #1 pick.
I think that was the ceiling factor, because if it wasn't for that hit, it would have been Khalil Mack and then Jadeveon going to the Raiders. Because I think they literally just would have been switched.
I don't think Khalil Mack was on anyone's radar, really. That
he was a 4th overall pick.
Yeah, but he wasn't like...
He was on the same level as Clowney going into the draft, and you want to know who went under? You want to know who went under the radar during his draft year? Fucking Aaron Donald.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking of. Yeah.
That's who went under the radar. But if you want to talk about under the radar, no, that's like saying J.J. Watt went under the radar, which I think he went under more than Khalil Mack.
All right, so I think the Saints actually might lose this game. They're out without their starting defensive tackle Sheldon Rankins. Houston's got a fucking great receiving core. I personally think they have one of the best receiving cores in the league besides New England right now.
What's strange is that
even without AB, New England has the best receiving core in the league.
Yeah, I was saying that. Yeah, I was saying that before when you were like just doing your thing, and I was talking about the Patriots, and I was just in general. One thing that's interesting about the Saints and Texans head-to-head that they've had is that the last 3 matchups that are on here, the last game that they played was in 2017, 13-0 for the Saints. Then before that, 16-9 and then 24-6. 16-9 and 24-6 were both in favor of the Texans. That was back in 16 and 15, so that is a little bit like when the Saints were meh. They're just starting to get really good, but they're like still. So all three of those games were really low scoring affairs for the most part. So that's a point to raise too. Like, even though these are different teams, obviously since 2015,
Right.
But I mean that just shows that, because Bill O'Brien and Sean Payton were both the coaches at that point. So that kind of raises the question.
I don't think Bill O'Brien was head coach of the Texans in 2015.
I'm almost 100% sure he was, because I think he started in 2014. But
he was at Penn State, wasn't he, before that?
No, he went straight from being a coordinator for Belichick.
I
going
could
to
he
head
coached
coach
at Penn State.
Oh yeah, he was head coach 2012 to 13. But I was correct. 2014 he started with the Texans. So Bill O'Brien and Sean Payton seemingly know how to coach against each other. So that actually kind of changes my prediction. I'm still going to say, because as long as Drew Brees plays like he has,
he was the offensive
years,
coordinator for New England for 1 year, and before that he was offensive assistant, wide receivers coach, and quarterbacks coach.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, I know he's. If you look at most of the coaches in the NFL, they all have roots to either Andy Reid or Bill Belichick. Like they have, it's all connected in one way or another.
Bill O'Brien won the Paul Bryant award for the best college football coach. He won the Big Ten Coach of the Year and Maxwell Coach of the Year and AT&T ESPN Coach of the Year, all in 2012.
Would you look at that?
He played in the NFL.
I did not know that, actually.
I know he played in college at Brown University. Played defensive end and linebacker for the Brown Bears from 1990 to 1992.
Interesting. Just to let you guys know, this is definitely not going to be a regular thing where we break down every matchup. This is just because we're excited for week one.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, I was gonna make that a point. I can't believe Mike Vrabel is an NFL coach. Did you see that interaction between Mike Vrabel and Tom Brady when they had a joint practice?
No.
Mike Vrabel, like, Tom Brady was like walking onto the field, and like Mike Vrabel was like yelling at him, because Vrabel's only 2 years older than Brady. Yeah. And they played the Super Bowl. They played on a Super Bowl winning team together and stuff like that, so they're good friends. Mm-hmm. But like, Vrabel was giving him a little shit, so he's like, "Oh, is that how you guys practice? No running on the field?" Yeah. And Tom Brady yells back to him, "Worry about your own shit. Worry about your own shit."
That sounds about right.
Yeah.
I love Tom Brady. I don't care what anyone says. I love that man. He's my favorite. Oh, get over it. That was fucking 20 years ago. You were 2 years old. That was your good old John Gruden Raiders, the first iteration. I don't know. Should we save that for next week? Because this episode's going long. I mean, we could have an extra special long week one NFL edition.
We have to address the fact. All right, let's go in Denver, Oakland.
Yeah, Denver and Oakland.
Nail biter. Oakland
I'm going
by 3.
to say, I was actually going to say the same thing, 24-21 Oakland.
I was going to say this, yeah.
I am going to give it. Thing is it's not going to be a nail biter where he hits the game-winning field goal at the end of the game. I think it's going to be Denver's going to try and drive down the field after Oakland kicks the game-leading field goal.
Yeah, I that's exactly how I see it going. That's how the majority of Oakland.
Did we give a score for Saints versus?
No, we didn't. 35-21 New Orleans.
I'm gonna go. They're all low-scoring games usually, so I'm gonna go 24. I'm gonna say one. It's gonna be kind of a lopsided victory. I'm gonna say 24-10 for Texans. I didn't know where I was gonna go with that. I don't know. I have a feeling that it's gonna be 24-10 for the Texans. I think it's gonna be a slow start for the Saints this year.
I don't know. I don't know.
So, on to the Oakland game. 24-21 Oakland. Because, I feel like a lot of people don't realize this when I talk crap about Oakland. It's literally just to get Nate riled up, because I love Oakland. I have loved Oakland for probably about the past 10 years. They have been like, up until recently, Pittsburgh was like if I had to choose a team that wasn't the Bears, who would I root for? It used to be Oakland, but I've really loved the Raiders for a
See,
long
if I
time.
had to choose a team to root for, if it wasn't for the Raiders, I'd choose the Rams without a doubt. I'm staying in California.
The Rams are right now they're in my top 5, like in terms of favorite teams. But it kind of goes for me.
It's hard not to like them.
Yeah, it is.
Like,
especially even when they were bad, like they were the lovable losers type deal.
And they're a young team.
I changed my mind. Raiders are 3rd. I fucking love Cleveland. I forgot about Cleveland. I fucking love them.
You and everybody else is hopping on that fucking train.
No. If you look we used to have this conversation in high school when they were still like 3 and 13.
You're right, we did.
I fucking love
you were a
Cleveland.
Big Cleveland fucking guy.
They're like how Cubs fans are, because I'm not a Cubs fan. They're like how
you're
Cubs.
A bitch.
I'm a Sox fan because I'm a masochist.
Bitch.
I love
fucking psychopath.
I am like the Cubs fans for the past up until 2016. They're the lovable losers, and you just had to root for them. I love Cleveland. I loved them before they had any sort of talent. Like if I was alive, I was alive when they came back to the league, but I was like 3 months old. If I could have been old enough to have any sort of conscious thought, I would have been a Bears and then Cleveland fan ever since 1999. I fucking love those guys. They're so hard to hate. And that's why I love seeing them do well.
Okay, hold on. So the Bryce Callahan, Todd Davis, those are the guys, and Joe Jones are out for Denver. But when it comes to Oakland, we're without our starting tackle in Gabe Jackson.
Nice.
We're also without J.J. Nelson. Antonio Brown is also out.
Well, of course he's...
Brown asked for his release from the Raiders. Look at this. It says Antonio Brown out.
Good job, NFL. That's pretty good.
And then there's a whole fuck ton of people on injured reserve.
Well, that's fun.
And Corey Lugit's out as well.
Nice. Good job. Good job, Raiders.
Oh, yeah. Gabe Jackson is going to be out for a few weeks. Awesome. So, cool. Hopefully we can go 1-3 the first couple of weeks.
All right. So this is so we got our predictions out of the way. Hopefully that was fun for you guys. I guess I might throw a disclaimer at the beginning of the video saying if you're not a football fan, this might not be for you. Usually like if you guys are brand new because of seeing us on YouTube, or you just found us on SoundCloud, go listen to our previous episodes. We do talk about more. Usually it's about music and sports, but we try and kind of keep things balanced. We're just excited for the first week. But this is something we're just gonna make this a nice long episode.
Season, baby.
Woo! We're gonna make this a nice long episode for the celebration. This is gonna be a bitch to edit, but I kind of want to get this out of the way because this is something that Nate and I have been talking about. We brought it up on the podcast multiple times. The Raiders. He is a Raiders fan. I enjoy the Raiders. That's why I like to fuck with him about it because I know a bunch about him. So the biggest thing that Nate always talks about during conversations or debates or whatever you may call it about the Raiders is that John Gruden is a mad scientist. Correct, Nate?
That is correct because he is.
So this is just as a little. I have a little note. It's called "Why Nate's Wrong." This is mainly about John Gruden. There's a little bit about the Raiders in general.
On. You having a note that says "Why Nate's Wrong" is like it's like everyone else I know owning a pair of socks. Everyone has one.
Yeah, I'm just saying this one is specifically for this reason.
Most of them are. They are wrong, and I'm actually right in the situation.
Well, I have statistics and history to prove myself right.
God.
So you may interject when you feel necessary, but I feel like this is something that this is a history lesson. Think about it as school. So just to establish.
LePage. Did you ever have LePage?
No, I didn't.
Dude, he was fucking crazy. He's like, you have 2 jobs. Actually, this is how he sounds. You have 2 jobs as an American. Vote and buy American-made cars. I don't care what you do with your life. If you do crack, cocaine, meth, sell pills, fuck hookers. As long as you vote and buy American made, you're good.
All right, so I'll do crack, do cocaine, do meth, and buy American cars. All right, cool. Got those in my notes. All right, so this is something to establish that I am not attacking the Raiders. This isn't specifically about one team.
I don't know why I did that little bit without like looking at the camera.
Right. I don't
crack, cocaine, vote and buy American made,
and pay your taxes.
and don't pay your taxes. Be a Wesley Snipes.
All right. Enough getting off track.
You're off track, bro.
You started with the fucking okay. This is just a little bit of a history lesson as to why John Gruden is just not good. He's just not good. I can make points across a lot of different points for why he thinks the Raiders are going to be good.
I yawn because that's how fucking boring your statistics are to me.
Shut up. The statistics don't lie. Analytics don't lie, which apparently John Gruden doesn't care because he doesn't follow them. I'll get to that. So this is just an establishment. This is not about specifically the Raiders.
Okay.
I do bring up points about the Raiders because obviously Gruden's been a coach for them twice.
For like...
First it was 3 years, then he's going on for, I mean, unless he gets fired, 10 years.
I don't think the Raiders are going to swallow $100 million. Like
you never
that.
know. I mean, Mark Davis may not have a lot of money, but he's still not good with it.
Mark
the
Davis
money that he
is
does
a
have.
Fucking idiot.
Yeah, he is. So this is not about the Bears. This is not about the Raiders. This isn't about the Packers. This isn't about the Steelers. This isn't about any specific team.
He also looks like a swollen version of John Gruden.
He does. This is not specifically about one given team. This is just about Gruden, the players he's dealt with, and the situations that he's brought upon himself, and the issues that come with that. So to start, Gruden's record overall, including last year, because that's still his coaching record, 99 and 93, barely above 500. I don't consider that a great coach. It's like Lovie Smith. He had a barely above 500 record with the Bears. I don't consider him a great coach. I thought he was an okay coach for the Bears. I thought he did well, just not a great coach. So just to put that into perspective, he's been, I think it's like a 516 win percentage. So he's like nothing impressive to start. I apologize for Nate's coughing.
I don't.
Well, someone has to.
No, we don't.
But people, including Gruden himself, have called him a player's coach. And he's also been established as a quarterback's
Keep
coach.
talking, I'm listening.
Yeah, he has been called a quarterback's coach. Neither of those are true, apparently, because there have been literal quotes from his own players where he says, Bruce Irvin, first of all, he gets, I think he was traded to the Falcons. His first practice with the Falcons, he yells, "I'm free! I'm free!" When he gets onto the field. Goes on to have 3.5 sacks and 13 tackles in 3 games started versus 3 sacks and what was it? I want to say it was 10 tackles or so in 8 games started with the Raiders.
So do you think that Antonio Brown knew that Bruce Irvin said that, and that's why he said that in that video?
That's what I was thinking too, because I was just about to bring up Antonio Brown said the exact same thing. I don't know if that was intentional or if that was just a.
Are you sure Bruce Irvin said that though?
Yes,
or are you not getting your
it was
wires
quoted.
crossed?
It was quoted.
Okay.
It was quoted back when Bruce Irvin was originally, like, when he was originally first on the Falcons.
Oh, by the way, I put a sock on.
Okay.
I couldn't find another one, so you're just gonna have to deal with the one.
Okay. And then this one was from after a Raiders practice. One of the veteran, I believe they said it was a lineman, but it was one of the veterans on the team, said, "I got to get the fuck out of here." Like literally, like he was so sick of the team. He's like, "I need to get the fuck out of here." So not looking good for Gruden already. So we'll go back because I have a whole list. I'm sure you can see.
My god.
Yeah. So this is gonna be a bit.
Hold
much.
on.
Yeah.
No,
I'll put it on screen. I'll put it on screen when I edit.
This.
So it'll go by quick. I promise. So again, players coach.
Oh yeah, I totally forgot that. Like when we're here, they're not in here with us, so like my brain thinks that they're just gonna see what we're seeing, but they're gonna see all this.
Yeah. No, they're
extra
gonna see
shit.
everything. We'll try and get this looking a little bit pretty. We'll get some better lighting and such. But that's for another time.
And for the social media announcements after every episode, I want to record a video of me and you like standing next to each other and be like, "Hey guys, episode whatever is now available."
Yeah.
And so when I drop the
You fuckers will see what we do.
when I drop the episode, I can drop the link in there.
Yeah.
So it's not just like a singular post picture. Because if you guys have been listening for a while, or if you're just
All
now
two of you.
listening, if you're a new listener and stuff like that, we got an Instagram stuff, and I post on my Instagram and the podcast Instagram all the time when we drop the episode. I mainly post on the podcast Instagram only for episode drops. I think I'm gonna start doing more like contests and giveaways and shit like that. Kevin, I have some shit to talk to you about afterwards with Kevin and stuff. But yeah,
Go follow us, fuckers.
yeah. But anyway, back to it. What Austin's about to say is probably going to make me cry because he's going to make me hate John Gruden. And I really don't want to hate John Gruden because he's going to be the coach of the Raiders for the next
9 years.
9 years. And
So well, if
man.
there are points that you feel like are moot, or if there are points that you don't feel like are fair, we'll talk about them. So we players coach, not so much. Quarterbacks coach, Derek Carr hates him. So
you think so?
They've gotten into fights on the sideline worse than Brady and Belichick ever have. They've gotten they've gotten into just they don't get along. Carr has called out his play calling multiple times. They just they butt heads a lot. They don't get along. So then another thing is people talk about his drafting ability. Specifically someone to my left, your guys the right, left, whatever the hell he's on this cameras. Just in 2018 alone, he drafted Colton Miller in the first round, the tackle.
Yeah.
Started him at left tackle right away, and through his first season, allowed 14 sacks and 59 pressures.
But how
And
is
a
that
top
on
15
Gruden?
pick.
How is that on Gruden?
Because you don't start him over goddamn what's his name, who was their left tackle before. Shit. They moved over their left tackle to right tackle, who was a Pro Bowl left tackle.
Smelly?
No, not Kaleche. I can't remember his name. Either way.
It's Kalichi.
Kaleche, whatever the fuck.
Kalichi Asmali.
Asamele. Either way.
Oh, smelly.
Fuck off. So he starts a rookie left tackle over Donald Penn. That's who it was. Donald Penn. They start Penn at right tackle.
No, they started him. No, they moved Penn to right tackle because the right tackle got injured, and they had nobody else at left tackle besides Colton Miller. So they had no choice but to start Colton Miller. So you're wrong on that one.
After the tackle came back from injury because he wasn't on IR. He wasn't on IR.
You're right. He wasn't. But
They could have moved him out.
John Gruden and Mark Davis didn't want. That was actually a Mark Davis decision. I know that for a fact. I know that was a Mark Davis decision. Didn't want to risk it, so they kept him starting there because Mark Davis liked Colton Miller. Mark Davis last year in that draft. Mark Davis had majority of the decisions.
Okay. So
you're that one
fine.
is that one's like a cow's opinion.
That one
it's
is
moved.
that one is half. I'll give you half of a point for that because even though I don't know if that was a Mark Davis thing or what, because I know that
No. I get a full point.
No,
I
you
get
don't.
half a point for being right and half a point for defending my team.
You don't get a point for defending your team.
Yes, I do.
No, you do not.
I do get a point for defending my team.
Okay, fine. We'll call Colton Miller a wash because he was trash for a top 15 pick for his first year. Now, can he improve this year? Absolutely. Not saying he can't, but for a top 15 pick, not what you want to see. So let's talk about his other his other praises at the QB position specifically because of the whole QB quarterback and everything, or his whole QB coach and everything like that. You know who he praised before the draft? Johnny Manziel, Connor Cook. He called Paxton Lynch the poor man's Cam Newton. Brandon Whedon.
I think he is. I honestly
no, he's not.
think no. I think if Denver fucked up by cutting Paxton Lynch and not letting him sit for another 2 to 3 years, and you know, if they had,
he was
Paxton,
calling him a first-round talent and a poor man's Cam. You're telling me a project QB who needs 3 years behind.
I don't think he was a first-round pick, but I definitely do think that he has had the potential to be a decent starting quarterback. Like he had the potential to be in that tier of like Matt Ryan.
I think he's more. At best he could be a Matt Stafford.
No, Stafford is
Stat Padford.
all right. As you have a bias though because you're an NFC North guy. He's in your division, just like how I have a bias against Pat Mahomes, Phillip Rivers, all that.
I don't have a bias. I don't have a bias because of my fandom. I have a bias because of stats.
I don't think without the padding your stats at the end of the season, I think that overall when it comes down to mechanics, Matt Stafford is a good quarterback.
When it comes down to mechanics and decision making, he is absolutely a second-tier quarterback. I never said he wasn't.
And Paxton Lynch, you're right. All right, in that case, Paxton Lynch definitely could have been a second-tier quarterback in the NFL, and he just didn't get the chances he should have been given.
But when you call him a poor man's Cam Newton, that means you're expecting good things out of him. Paxton Lynch never looked good on the field because he was a project.
He looked good in the fucking preseason for Seattle. Are you kidding me?
It doesn't. It's preseason.
Dude, he was destroying Denver with his legs and his arm.
It's preseason.
But still, preseason is where you fucking pay. I pay the most attention to a team in preseason and to players in a preseason because I want to see who's going to stick. Who do I think should stick for that team, and who do I think is going to have a career
as
after that?
backups and third stringers and projects, not fucking starters.
But that's what it matters, you know.
It matters, but when you're tearing up,
you need a good second to third string in order to be a good team.
Sure, but Paxton Lynch. What I'm saying is that
you want talent all around, don't you?
Exactly. Oh no, I'm not saying that you're wrong, but what I'm saying is that when you're calling Paxton Lynch a great quarterback or a great prospect, and he's only shown
by poor man's Cam Newton, he means second or third string, not starter.
No, what it means when you say he's a poor man something is that means he is going to be a quality. He's going to be the great value version, cheaper but still comparable. Paxton Lynch is not comparable to Cam Newton, even at his best. Cam Newton at his worst is still better than Paxton Lynch at his best that he's ever been.
Well, not to bull the obvious here, but one of them's white.
Sure.
So they're not.
But I'm just saying, I'm not, this is not talking about like specifically Paxton Lynch. I'm talking about John Gruden calling him that. That's the whole point I'm making.
And now, hold on, before you get all fucking racist on me here, I was not saying because,
man, I thought I was the racist on this podcast.
No.
All right. Either way. Point being,
we gotta
on.
cut that what I just said out. I just thought about that. That shit was racist.
No, it's fine. It's not a big deal.
I don't know how to explain.
I feel like people. I know what you're saying.
It
is true. He's not. It makes sense.
And also, he's not. What is he? 6'4"?
Something like that. Something like that.
He's like 212, 210. He's not a big guy,
give or take. But either way, so Paxton Lynch, even if you call that a wash. I already listed Menzel, Cook, Whedon, Christian Hackenberg. He literally said Christian Hackenberg. He would be shocked if he didn't go in the first round. Christian fucking Hackenberg. And guess what's even worse? Guess who he praised? Guess who he said is one of the most NFL-ready quarterbacks he's seen come out of the draft? Take a quick guess. Take a wild guess. Think about it. Who's the backup quarterback right now? Or the third string, actually, that's even worse. Nathan Peterman. John Gruden said that Nathan Peterman is the most NFL-ready quarterback in that draft class. Nathan Peterman, literally one of the worst quarterbacks in the league last year. Now, trust me, I'm not saying that you have to hit on everything.
If you don't know who Nathan Peterman is, he threw 6 picks in one fucking half.
Yeah. So, John Gruden, not great evaluation of at least quarterback talent.
He's got some wheels, Peterman.
Good for you, but when you can only do that, guess what happens? You get the AFC wildcard game with fucking Jackson in Baltimore. You get shut the fuck out when people find out what your strengths are and can only do that.
Yeah,
so
it'll be interesting to see how he plays this year.
I think he'll do fine, but either way, so all well and good.
I just realized the backing to my earring is rusty.
You know what we could do with
Rusty Cage.
You know what we could do? We could do this as like a separate part of the episode. We'll have 2 parts of an episode, part 1, part 2. And we'll have like, if you want to hear me fucking talk shit on Gruden, watch part 2. If not, hope you enjoyed the episode. This is something that, going back to the analytics thing, I find this hilarious. I brought this up on Twitter because remember the 1998. When John Gruden was asked about analytics, I don't remember the exact context of the question, but he says, "Oh, you're talking about all the analytics, the GPS, all the modern technology. Man, I'm trying to throw the game back to 1998." In case you guys don't know the history of the Raiders went 8-8 in 1998. They started 6-2. So in the last 8 games, they went 2-6 to miss the playoffs. They were potentially, because that was Gruden's second season, I believe.
I miss Jack Del Rio.
Yeah. Oh, trust me, I'll get to that. So Gruden's first stint.
But the thing is, Jack Del Rio is garbage in Jacksonville.
Oh yeah, I like Jack Del Rio. But either way, we'll get to that because I did list that. So Gruden's first stint. That's I made the little tag and everything. 2 straight 8-8 seasons to start. You know what? I can't fault him for that because you need 2 to 3 years for a coach to make his team his team. That's why when people were calling for Fox's head after season 2, I wasn't freaking out because, you need to build your team. Shit happens.
John Fox people forget that John Fox took Carolina to the Super Bowl.
He also built the team in Denver that won the Super Bowl against Carolina. Against Carolina.
Yeah, against Carolina.
So we'll get to that too because I brought that up. So then third season goes to the AFC Championship at 12-4.
Wait, wasn't Gary Kubiak coach of that team? Oh no, John Fox was coach of that team.
He was. I'm gonna get to that because
Gary Kubiak was head coach of that winning team.
He was the head coach. Yes. So
that was Fox's first year in Chicago, wasn't it? Yeah.
Don't worry, I'll get to that. So Gruden's first stint, 2 8-8 season start, goes 12-4 with the AFC Championship loss. We already know what happens there. The Tuck rule, all that good shit. That's, you know what? Can't fault him for that because, rules are rules and it was a shitty situation. It happens.
It wasn't a rule before that game.
So either way, we've already gone on that tangent.
The Brady back bitch.
The next year, he goes 10-6, loses in the divisional. Okay, fine, whatever. Couldn't get to the Super Bowl. It happens,
You went 10-6,
and then
you made it to the divisional at 10-6.
Yeah.
Like, how often does that happen? Not very often.
It's
normally 12-4. Or 11-5.
Well, if you go 10-6, that means you go to the wild card game, and then you win the wild card game, you lose the divisional.
You don't see a lot of 10-6 teams going to the playoffs.
Not
anymore.
usually.
It's
usually
more 9-7 now.
Well, even now, like the whole
I don't like the way they have the seating now.
Yeah, the seating's kind of weird
because you get more lower. You have the lower winning teams like more 9-7s and 8-8s getting in, and more 11-5s and 10-6s.
Yeah, it's
and
weird.
even 12-4s are fucking missing the cut because of the fucking loss they have to their divisional opponent.
Yeah,
it's bullshit. NFL, get your shit together.
You hear me, Roger Goodell? Fuck you. So either way. It's all well and good. So Tampa trades for him essentially 2 first rounds and 2 second rounds for 2 straight years.
Where's Pete Rozelle when you need him?
So they trade for Gruden, which was Tony Dungy's team. So first off,
which was the first ever NFL head coaching trade in NFL. The first head coaching trade between 2 teams in NFL history.
And going off of how this works. Yeah, I'm sure they want those picks back. Tony Dungy's team, it was his, and what we were talking about before is you said that they were trash, and I quote: "The Bucs were trash before Gruden came in." They went to the playoffs 4 out of 5 seasons before John Gruden came in. 4 out of 5, and the year that they missed the playoffs, they were still 8-8. That was Dungy's, I think, second year under his control. So you think, okay. Gruden went to the Super Bowl first year with the Bucs. That means he must be able to run a team that was just close to the cusp. Well, no. He made no executive decisions that year. They made it to the NFC Championship 2 years before Gruden came in. And have you ever heard of Barry Switzer, Gary Kubiak, Jim Caldwell, George Seifert? Switzer, Kubiak, and Seifert winning their first year with someone else's team.
Yeah, hold on one second.
Okay.
Keep talking, I'm listening.
Yeah. So you got that. And then Jim Caldwell, who makes it to the Super Bowl first year with Peyton Manning and good old boy, what's his fuck's team? The coach for the Colts before the Super Bowl year. Whatever. I'm an idiot. Can't remember his name. So Gruden takes over for the Bucks. Makes no executive decisions for the most part before the year that they won the Super Bowl. He inherits the best defense, ranked the best defense, and a mediocre offense. They were ranked 25th, whatever. But still wins the Super Bowl with one of the best teams in the league. Before he comes in, they were the best, at least on defense. So you think, okay, the only way to go is up after the Super Bowl win. 2003 comes along. He tries to better understand Keyshawn Johnson, an outspoken and an emotional star receiver. Does that sound familiar? That sound like something that he's done before, something he's tried to do before? Because it certainly sounds right to me. So he starts having issues, and he's very not okay. They deactivate him after week 6 because he's really pissed off with his role in the offense. And John Gruden, the players coach, just couldn't figure him out. So, a lot of people knew as well. Gruden and McKay, the GM at the time, they could not.
Adam McKay was GM.
I believe so. Yeah. Well, I don't know his first name, but McKay was their GM for the Bucks. So they couldn't get along even during the Super Bowl season. They hated each other. Gruden wanted more money put into the offense and not as much put into the defense. And McKay is like, "Fuck you. We're building this team that won us a Super Bowl." You know. So that McKay ends up leaving. I believe it was after the 2003 season. It could have been during the 2003 season. And Emmitt Smith, he signs with the Cardinals right after his last stint with the Cowboys, his last couple years.
Oh no, Adam McKay is he's a director.
Oh, I don't remember McKay's first name, but Emmitt Smith.
Oh, he was the director of like Step Brothers, Vice, Anchorman, Talladega Nights, the other guys. Ant-Man. What? This motherfucker who directed Ant-Man also directed Anchorman 1 and 2, the other guys, Talladega Nights.
Explains why Ant-Man was fucking trash.
Hold on one second. And we're back.
All right, look at that. Wonderful.
Jesus.
So, where were we? Oh, yeah. So, Emmitt Smith, which ended up, this isn't going to be like, oh, man, they missed out on a great signing, but they missed out on signing Emmitt Smith, what was potentially a great signing, like, for the end of his career kind of deal, because he didn't want to deal with Gruden and the K's fighting. So I feel like this is the epitome of Gruden's Bucks, of his Bucks team. Week 5 in 2003, they were going against the Colts, against Tony Dungy. That's the coach I was trying to think of before. So Tony Dungy takes over the Colts after being with the Bucks and getting Gruden taking over for him. And the Raiders the Bucks had a 21-0 halftime lead. They were demolishing the Colts. Just defensively, offensively, they just could not. The Colts could not get past the Bucks. So what happens? They blow a 21-point lead and lose in overtime. Because, John Gruden. So after that, they end up releasing during the offseason, they end up releasing John Lynch, one of the best safeties that they had. They don't re-sign Warren Sapp, which, you re-sign Warren Sapp.
Dude, Warren Sapp is a fucking phenomenon. For how big of a guy he was, he had a fucking motor.
And you don't not re-sign him.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm a little thrown off by our interruption.
No, you're good.
Bugged me.
So then, Keyshawn Johnson, they trade him away because, again, can't get along with a head case of a wide receiver. Then McCardell, their leading receiver, because Keyshawn Johnson was not playing, he holds out. So Gruden gets rid of him. They end up going 7-9 that year. They missed the playoffs by being below 500 immediately after winning the Super Bowl, and Gruden starts making executive decisions.
All right. So from what I've gathered, and from a lot of other, I never wanted to admit this until now, but teams that John Gruden coaches are fucking excellent if he doesn't have the executive decision-making power.
Well, this is right. Like the last little bit, I have a lot less.
Did the
notes
Raiders
on.
give that to him this year for his contract?
Executive decision?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
fucked.
He was
We're fucked.
essentially GM.
We're fucked.
So this I'll kind of
Bill
run through
Belichick
the.
is the GM.
Well, yeah, but he's actually good. So 2004, Brad Johnson, Super Bowl winning quarterback, fan favorite. I think he was like an MVP candidate the Super Bowl year. He gets benched after starting 1-4 or 0-4, and he's cut after the season. They cut Martin Gramatica. They don't re-sign Dwight Smith, and they go 5-11. Only team to win the Super Bowl, or I know it was definitely the first team, might be the only team to go under 500 after winning the Super Bowl for going below 500 for 2 straight seasons. 2005, they go 11-5. Good year. Just can't come back. They can't finish the job. They can't go to the Super Bowl again. Whatever. But at least they had a bounce back season. Well, they fucking suck again. They're trash. They're just not good. So Chris Sims was the one who took over for Brad Johnson after they got rid of him. Well, Chris Sims gets injured, and Gruden, what a surprise, the players coach, treats him like shit during his recovery. Like, absolute dickhead to him. So, Chris Sims, he's like, no, I'm not signing back with you assholes. Fuck you. So he's gone. Their starting quarterback, gone. Mike Allstott retires. One of the best running backs Bucks have ever had, if not the best running back.
Mike Allstott.
He was a tank. He was a fucking tank.
I hate why they say he was a running back. He was more of a fullback. He's a fullback.
But he was at a time where fullbacks like Keanu Neal were still a thing. Like
Peyton Hillis. Peyton Hillis was Peyton Hillis was actually a running back.
Well, he was, but he was essentially a fullback.
Fucking tank.
He was a monster. But guess who wins the Super Bowl that year in 2006? You know it.
The Colts did.
Yeah. Insert Bears joke here. Ha 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 ha.
That's my favorite halftime performance.
Yeah.
I get goosebumps just thinking about it.
Yeah.
If you don't know,
look at our episode from, what was it, 3-4 weeks ago?
Yeah, 4 weeks ago.
Because we broke down every single halftime show.
There's also going to be a link to the halftime show in the description. I'm going to make sure Austin puts that in there.
Well, way to make more work for me.
Yeah.
But yeah, it'll be in the description.
Oh, actually, you know what? I will comment on the YouTube video the link.
It'll be in the description. Don't worry.
I'll also comment the link on it as well.
Okay, there you go. I'll pin the comment.
Yeah.
So Tony Dungy ends up building another team back up and wins the Super Bowl with them. Interesting. John Gruden takes over a Tony Dungy team, wins the Super Bowl. Tony Dungy ends up building back another team, wins the Super Bowl. What's the common denominator here? I don't think it's John Gruden. 2007, they lose in the wild card. They go 9-7. Another bounce back year. They're okay. That was the second year that they made the playoffs, not including Gruden's first year. 2008, they start the year 9-3. Really good. 9-3 is a solid way to start a year. They end up 9-7. They topped off that season by guess who? The Raiders. the team that he used to coach and built up, had built up for him for the most part.
I just put the connection that we were still talking about Tampa Bay, and I was like, hold on.
Yeah.
2007, 2008.
Yeah.
The Raiders didn't win more than 4 fucking games.
Yeah, exactly. My point exactly. Gruden lost to a team that just...
After Gruden left, the Raiders didn't start winning again until Jack Del Rio and it was in his second or third year.
Second year. I'll get to that. So they missed the playoffs because he went 9-3 and then ended 9-7, and he gets fired. He was signed through 2011, but they fired him 3 years early. So then makes the return to the Raiders. Well, before that, it was Jack Del Rio's team. He had a winning record in for the Raiders.
Keep in mind, all right, so there is, for the people who don't know, in the time period from when he got fired by Tampa to when he re-signed with the Raiders.
He was the Sunday Night Football analyst? Monday night.
And that's about 10 years in between that.
Yeah, so a decade. Not a good sign. So this was Jack Del Rio's team.
Why am I fucking supporting your point?
Because you know I'm right. So this is Jack Del Rio's team. He had a winning record. I think he was 26-23. Fact check me, comment section, all three of you. I want to say it was 26-23, maybe 24-23. So he was okay. But in 2016, his second year, they were Super Bowl favorites. They were super good. They went 12-4. But that was the year that Derek Carr broke his leg or had his leg broken. That you know, it kind of sucks when your MVP caliber quarterback goes down. So yeah, shit happens. They lose to Brock Osweiler in the wild card game. That's fun. Or was it? It might have been a divisional. I think it was wild card game. That's fun. And their backup also got hurt. So Jack Del Rio got a shitty reputation after that.
Or when we lost to the Cowboys on a Derek Carr fumble.
Mm-hmm. So next year after they go 12-4,
I pulled over on the highway to listen to the end of that game because that was a playoff game
against the Cowboys.
I think it was.
No, the Raiders can't go against the Cowboys.
No, there was
unless
definitely
it's a Super Bowl.
No, then it wasn't. It was the game to see if we would make the playoffs.
Okay,
that's what it was. It was the final game of the season, and I remember Derek Carr is running the ball.
Well, what
20,
that couldn't
30,
have been
like he's diving. I don't know. You guys know what I'm talking about. Raiders fans know what the fuck I'm talking about. He's diving for the end zone, and some Cowboy safety like goes to tackle him, but like barely touches him. And he drops the ball before he hits the fucking ground. Before he hits the ground.
Nice.
Before he hits the ground, right? And fumbles in and out of the end zone. And game over.
For a touchback, yeah.
Yeah, game over. Cowboys win.
That's fun.
Fuck you, Derek.
So the next year they go 6-10, and they fire him. I think that was a dumb decision to fire him. But turns out that the reason
keep in mind, Reggie McKenzie was still part of the Raiders at that time.
Mm-hmm.
And his cookie crisp looking ass is fucking... Tell me I'm wrong, yo. He definitely looks like... All right. Reggie McKenzie, cookie crisp cereal. Same person.
God damn it, you were just full of chutzpah and making me edit. If you guys are watching this is our first... I have not done video editing in probably about 5 years. So I apologize for the shittiness.
You to like put the whole graphic.
Why would you point then?
Because like I'm practicing for insert graphic here.
So
and then the subscribe button will be here.
No, it'll be down there because
it'll be down there.
right here, right below my crotchels.
Yeah.
So either way, let's get this finished because this episode's going long. So 6-10, he gets fired.
I think
we need
another long episode. We've been doing kind of short ones. We've been cutting like
last
an hour.
episode was kind of.
Where's my earring? It's on the table.
So then after Jack Del Rio gets fired, they go and get Chucky. They go for a second go around with John Gruden. 4-12 was the final record. They start 1-8, and again, going back to he refuses analytics. Again, just trying to bring the game back to 1998.
Just trying to... That was a good Gruden impression. Hey, man. Just trying to bring the game back.
He's trying to... I can't even do it now.
Do it.
I can't do it. I was surprised I got that. But
Dude, have you seen Frank Caliendo's Gruden impression?
Yes, that was very
Frank
good.
Caliendo does John Gruden better than John Gruden does John Gruden.
Yeah. So he gets hired
Listen
on
to you,
for
man.
10 years, $100 million, and I didn't know this until I started doing research for this. He gets a stake in ownership as well. I didn't know that. So what does he do? He gets stake in ownership. He gets all this, and he gets executive decision too, along with the GM. They sign Martavis Bryant, fucking pothead extraordinaire. He gets suspended. Then he doesn't get suspended. Then he gets hurt. Then he goes on IR. So that was a good signing. Trades Khalil Mack, greatest pass rusher of this generation, next to Aaron Donald, for what is going to be at best 2 mid-first rounders.
No. First of all, Josh Jacobs was the 4th overall draft pick.
No, he wasn't.
Oh no, Cleveland Farrell was.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So Khalil Mack,
Josh Jacobs was the
24th. 26th was Dallas. 24th was the Bears.
Yeah.
So trades Khalil Mack for what? Even if the Bears go 10-6 like I'm expecting, that is a mid-teens pick and a mid-20s pick and a 3rd round pick for the greatest pass rusher next to Aaron Donald of this generation. Of our generation, you cannot name a better pass rusher.
J.J. Watt.
Nope. Injury prone.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes. If you're talking about healthy, yeah, I'd go J.J. Watt. But if you're talking about their careers thus far, J.J. Watt has been injured 3 out of the past 4 years. Khalil Mack didn't miss a single game until last year. But I'll get to that. So what's at best of mid, first, and third round picks, who also, I'm sure you know this, I'm sure you saw this graphic a million times because assholes can't get past it, and I'm one of those assholes. He had better defensive stats, -1 category, than the entire Raiders defense. And to go off of that, Mac, even missing 2.5 games, because he missed half of the Miami game, and then the next 2 games he missed, 12.5 sacks. The Raiders had 13. Next lowest sack total for any team in the NFL last season was the Giants, and they had 30. They had 17 more sacks than the Raiders. That's not good. 6 forced fumbles for Khalil Mack, 5 for the Raiders, and both of them had a defensive touchdown. That's including the Raiders' interceptions. Mack had 1 interception. The Raiders had 10. Raiders had, I believe it was the 31st or 32nd ranked defense in the league. Khalil Mack was an MVP candidate until he got hurt.
Is it ankle, right?
Yes, ankle. So whatever, we make bad trades, and I'll give benefit of the doubt. He didn't want to sign, and Gruden was trying to make sure that he could get what was best for his team. So what does he say when they try and find a pass rusher and and their struggles with defense? He says, it's hard to find a great one. It's hard to find a good one.
Yeah,
it's hard to find one. You just said it. With college football, they aren't dropping back the pass and throwing anymore. You had the best one in the league, if not arguably. We'll call it even second best in the league in pass rushing, because Aaron Donald was a monster last year. I'll give you that.
I just bit my fingernail off my finger and ripped the skin from underneath the nail, and now it's bleeding like a motherfucker. And
Good job. So
this finger.
He uses the draft pick on a running back, and I have notes on the running back if you want to hear them. So he was a steal. I will absolutely give that to you. He was the ranked 7th ranked prospect on the board, and they got him at 24. Absolute steal. But that doesn't make up for Farrell, or Cleveland Farrell. Is that how you pronounce it? He was ranked 19th on the board
Yeah, we
at the
definitely
highest.
should have taken Christian Wilkins before him.
You should have taken. I mean, fuck. You could have taken even what's his face from LSU. I just talked about him earlier. What was his name? Fuck, whatever. The linebacker.
Devin White.
Devin White. Thank you.
No,
you could have
that's
even
Devin
taken
Bush.
him. No, it was Devin White. Well, it was White from LSU.
Bush was from Michigan.
I think so. So you could have picked up any defensive prospect. You could pick a project of a defensive lineman at Cleveland Farrell. He was the 12th ranked defensive player in general.
Yeah.
That's including linebackers, corners, D linemen, outside linebackers, whatever the hell you want to call it. He was ranked 12th. They picked him at 4. So, you kind of made up for the running back, but you traded Khalil Mack for a running back. I mean, I don't know. And he's from Alabama, and anyone who talks football with me knows that I do not like Alabama running backs. They have never been good except for 2: Mark Ingram, Derrick Henry.
Yeah.
And Derrick Henry, he's not even proven yet. He's been in the league 4 years. He's only had 1 good year because they only started him 1 year because they had goddamn what's his face for 3, DeMarco Murray.
Derrick Henry started his rookie year, Bob.
Then that's even worse that his rookie year wasn't all that impressive. So either way, I like him. I like both of those running backs, don't get me wrong. But within the last 15 years, you know who the other top running backs coming out of college were that were from Alabama? Can you take a wild guess?
No, I don't even know.
Eddie Lacy and Trent Richardson. How about them?
That's right.
Yeah. So I don't trust Alabama running backs. Never have.
You're right. Derrick Henry was drafted in the 2016 NFL draft.
Oh, was it 2016?
Yeah.
So 3 years instead of 4. I'm adding an extra year because I said the same thing for Marlon Mack.
Yeah.
So the thing is you were saying as well that Josh Jacobs was going to be the best running back in the league this year.
No, I didn't.
Yeah, you did.
No, I didn't.
Yes, you did. Look at the text. I will pull it up right now. So professional, right, guys? So it says It says, oops, that's the wrong text. Dude, Josh Jacobs is going to be one of the best backs this season. I guarantee it.
Oh, yeah, I see that.
So, let me tell you, he's not, like I also responded, he's not even the best running back in the Bay Area if you count McKinnon when he's not injured, because McKinnon healthy is better than a rookie Josh Jacobs. Can he be the greatest? Yes, because I have lists on that on what is good about him. Because don't get me wrong, I think he's a talented running back, but he's not even the most talented running back in California. Because you said, yeah, because Melvin Gordon's not playing. Have you heard of a certain Rams running back? You know, Todd Gurley III. Have you heard of him?
I totally forgot about Todd Gurley.
Yeah, clearly. So yeah, he's not going to be the best running back. He's not even going to be the best rookie running back. Honestly, I don't think he is. Because the Raiders, the problem with it is he has no offensive line. He's running behind an offensive line run by Tom Cable, the same guy who made Seattle's offensive line almost kill Russell Wilson on a weekly basis. And the thing is,
that shit was funny.
Yeah. So the thing is that, you can say, Saquon, he didn't have an offensive line. He's not Saquon Barkley.
Saquon had an offensive line.
No, he didn't.
Yes, he did.
No, he did not. He had a trash-ass offensive line. Granted, they're a better run blocking offensive line than pass blocking. They were still not good. He has no high-end top speed. He has good acceleration, not good top speed. But something that I find really good about him is he reminds me of a Keyshawn Johnson from Detroit. I think he is a very similar running back to him. The problem is he's not as good of a cutter.
You mean Keyshawn Martin?
No, it's not Keyshawn Martin. It's Keyshawn Johnson. I'm pretty sure.
The guy from Detroit who plays in Detroit?
Yeah, the running back.
Oh, the running back. I thought you were talking about the receiver.
No, the running back. We're talking about running backs here. So he's like Detroit's running back, except for he doesn't have is it Keyshawn Johnson? I don't remember his name now. I think it's Keyshawn Johnson.
I'm pretty sure it's Keyshawn Martin.
It's not Keyshawn Martin. But he's
Let's
like
pull up the ISPN.
He is like the Detroit's running back without the ability to cut as smoothly. Like his cuts are very mechanical and not very quick, and he doesn't have the ability to pump the brakes every once in a while. He's pedal to the metal, and he does not slow down otherwise, which I think can be a big problem for a guy with an offensive line where you need to have patience for them to set up their blocks. So really, you traded Khalil Mack for a running back that is going to have an okay year, for maybe 1,000-yard rusher at best his first season. I'm going to say he's going to have 750 yards this year. So then, what does he do with an underachieving wide receiver known as Amari Cooper?
Kerryon Johnson.
Kerryon Johnson, that's what it was, not Keyshawn Johnson's the receiver.
Yeah.
I literally was just talking about him earlier.
The Martin guy I'm thinking of. I don't
know. So they trade Amari Cooper, the best receiver that they've had in a long time, probably since Moss, and they trade him for 1 first-round pick. 1. And ends up being 26th, the 26th overall.
Right.
I'm not going to knock the pick, because I really like the safety that they picked up. I think that was a good pick for them. But you traded Amari Cooper, who ended up having 53 receptions.
Jonathan Abrams?
Yeah, I think
he's good.
He's good. But he goes on to have 53 receptions, 725 yards, and 6 TDs in 9 games with Dallas. That just shows that Gruden wasn't able to coach him, because he was slowing down even when Jack Del Rio was there, because he kept bulking up and slowing down. So I'm not going to completely blame Gruden for thinking he's just underachieving for his talents, but he didn't put effort into fixing him, and he didn't put effort into getting his quarterback better, because Derek Carr has slowly but surely been getting worse since he got injured.
Yeah,
usually you'd think he would rebound because he's still young, but no, he's scared.
What are we gonna do, Raiders?
So remember, you're not a real Raiders fan. Like, if you like, it's not. You disagree. If you disagree with him, you're thrown out. You're thrown under the bus. That's an issue too. Like, if you call out anyone on that Raiders organization, you're shit out of luck if you want a job. So really, my whole point is that the Raiders under John Gruden are not completely fucked, but they're certainly not in a good place anytime soon.
No.
You're talking about mad scientist. Yeah, if you're talking about like Dr. Doofenshmirtz from Phineas and Ferb, where instead of mad being like, oh, he's crazy in a good way, no, he's crazy in a way that always fails.
Yeah.
So that's just the point I'm trying to make. So if you guys ended up watching all of this, holy shit,
Yeah.
you are committed and you must enjoy at least some sort of talk about football.
2.5
digging into my buddy.
hours of us just talking
It's
shit.
been 2 hours actually.
Oh, yeah,
2.5
hours,
because we
2
started at 8:30.
Man, all right, real quick, I want to get into some other things. My fucking elbow's been bothering me. No, on some real, like, when I put, like, pressure on it, like, that shit hurts.
I've done that before.
I don't know what it is. I think I have a deep bone bruise.
Real nice. How the
Yeah.
fuck do you get a deep bone bruise? You don't do anything.
Yes, I do. I have 2 jobs.
Yeah, then fucking pay me.
They gotta pay. They have to pay me
I'm
first.
just saying.
And I also have to pay the city of Lake Forest for some tickets, but that's
I gotta go pay one of my tickets when I leave here. Yeah.
fun. On a Sunday.
Oh shit, yeah, it's Sunday. Well, happy football, everybody.
It's football America.
All right, this has been the Floor Chapstick Podcast. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching.
Bye.
Subscribe if you enjoyed. Give us a like. Give us a comment. Suck us off. I don't care. See ya. Bye.
He said it's like a